change. It's logic is the basis of principles. Principles don't change. They remain the same because they always work. Logic always works. So therefore, if I am logical and I stick to principles, how am I going to change? I can't. Because I love these people that say, well, you have to, you got to change with the times, Rod. No, I don't. Because I stick to principles. I stick to logic. That stuff doesn't change. Because if it works today, and it has worked 100 years ago, and it worked 1,000 years ago, it's going to work tomorrow. No, only a fool takes something that works and does something totally different. We see the results of this in our educational system. We've taken the 3 R's, which really worked. I mean, it worked so well that up until the mid-century, mid-21st or 20th century, most Americans had just an 8th grade education, but we built the most powerful nation on the planet with people who had nothing more than an 8th grade education. Today, we have kids graduating from 4 years of college that know less than people in the 1930s that only went to 8th grade. Why did we change the educational system if it worked? And we can see now they've been changing it, and they've changed it, and they've changed it over and over again. Every time they try something new, and the first time they tried something, oh, that didn't work. So instead of going back to the old-fashioned way that actually worked, they wanted to invent something new, and that didn't work. And so they said, well, we got to try something new because that didn't work. And then they'll try something new, and they find that didn't work. Hey, the No Child Left Behind? Oh, that didn't work. Remember new math? Oh, that didn't work. The whole process of how kids learn, we're going to go at different, at the student's pace. We're not going to force them to try to keep up. We're going to go at their pace. Well, that didn't work. And there have been so many different kinds of experiments, taking phonics out of school and saying, well, we're just going to go with rote memorization. Well, that didn't work. I mean, why do we keep trying to reinvent the wheel on stuff that already works? The old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, if something has always worked in the past, it is going to continue to work into the future. That's what principles are. That's what logic is. So therefore, I don't need to change. I'm not going to change with, every new fad that comes along. Hey, I like Levi's jeans. Levi's. I like Wrangler jeans. Why? Well, because, they have, sure, they've gotten into fashion jeans too and that kind of stuff, but they're still just good old-fashioned American jeans. I can still get them. I can get the straight leg or the boot cut like I've always liked. I can get the, the ones that, not the skinny leg jeans or the skinny jeans. I can't fit into those things anyway because my thighs are too big. And that's another thing. Can we talk about fashion? I mean, fashion constantly changes. But isn't it amazing how certain types of fashion always come back in style? Well, how come that doesn't work with politics? I mean, we're constantly looking for something that's newer and different. You know what I want in politics? I want a good pair of old-fashioned 501 Levi jeans. The classic. They have always looked good. They will always look good. You can't, look, hey, we tried fashion. Remember Jordache? I never once wanted a pair of those things. Even way back then, I thought they looked gay. And that was my exact wording on those. I never liked those Jordache jeans. I was never big into, wearing somebody's name on my butt. And the privilege. My mother even asked if I wanted a pair for back to school. I said, no. And actually, my mother was kind of shocked I didn't want something that was fashionable, but I have never been a fashion trendsetter because I don't go into this fashion fad stuff. Yeah, I liked clothes. I was as a youngster and a teenager and a young man in his early 20s, I was quite fashionable. But I didn't go after those trends. I didn't do Jordache and then whatever came after. What was it? Chic jeans, whatever. And they had male I didn't wear that stuff. I didn't like it. And people were changing their shoes and going into these wild kinds of shoes. But nope, I didn't. Because that stuff, you buy it and it's in style for 30 days, a month or two, and then you're out, $50. And back then, $50 was worth a lot more than it is today. If I remember, Jordache jeans back in the early 80s, they were like a $40 to $50 pair of jeans. Now you're talking 1982, 81. That's a lot of money. Back when Burger King, you could go to Burger King and get a full-size Whopper, not a Whopper Junior, a Whopper meal, including tax, for $3. You can even get a Whopper Junior meal for $3 without tax nowadays, let alone with tax. But those are the things that I don't change on. People can talk about and tout all this change. Just change for the sake of change is not always good. In fact, change is seldom actually better than the original thing that it's replacing or trying to replace. Because then people say, well, this new change thing didn't work, so they'll try something else, and they'll try something else, and they'll try something else. So what are we trying now in education? Now we're on No Child Left Behind, and they want to revamp it or try to get rid of it because it doesn't work. And how many times have they tried something new instead of just going back and saying, we've tried this, and this over the past 40 years. We've tried all this crap. It doesn't work. Why don't we just go back to the basic 3 R's and teaching kids the old-fashioned way? Because that's how they really learned. No, everybody's got to justify their degrees, and they got to justify their massive salaries, and they have to justify and say, well, we're just so smart because I have a master's or I have a PhD in education or something. So I've got to come up with something different, because if I don't, then, any old Tom, Dick, or Jane can be a superintendent or a principal or something and teach these kids the old-fashioned way. It doesn't take a genius or a PhD to figure that one out. So we have all these wonderful PhDs that are supposed to be smart. We have all these people with master's degrees that are supposed to be all these smart people, right? Going from elementary school up through high school up into the public colleges and the private colleges. We have all these wonderful people, all these learned people that have, master's degrees and whatever that degree is in between a master's and a PhD. And then we have all these PhDs, and God forbid if you forget to call them doctor, and they have all these, they've spent all this time in school. They spent 12, 15, 20 years going to school, and they have multiple degrees and multiple disciplines and fields of study, and they're supposed to be the smart of the smart, and yet they're the dumbest of the dumb. Because they screw everybody else up, because they really don't know anything, because they don't have any experience in real life, because they spent all their time in education and academia. They haven't been out there in the real world, and this is what we have running our colleges and our government. Oh, well, let me take a stab at it then about the government for a second and them not knowing what the hell they're doing. Let's go ahead on a city and a state level and start talking about raising the minimum wage to a minimum of $15, for fast food workers or anybody else who's making minimum wage. Now they got to make a minimum of $15. And then when a business raises prices so they can afford to pay the employees that $15 minimum, those people who instituted in the government halls that said that everybody should get paid at least $15 minimum so they can make a living wage. Now prices are going up and going through the roof, and they sit back and wonder, how the hell did this happen? Well, we tried telling you that it does not happen in a vacuum. Sure, maybe $15 works in theory and on paper, but you put it out there in reality, when the money has to start flowing, it's got to come from somewhere. So where does it come from? It comes from the customer's pockets in the form of higher prices. So those people who were only earning, $9 or $10 before now are earning $15. They think for a couple of weeks that they've made it, they've gotten a good deal, and they're going to be able to do some more stuff. And then they start going to the grocery store, and they start going to Walmart and other places and finding that their prices have risen. So that $15 an hour doesn't go any further than their old salary of $9 or $10 an hour. So they're back where they started. Then guess what they're going to do? Then instead of them saying, well, geez, that didn't work, we better not try that again, they're going to come right back to us and say, well, we need to raise the minimum wage to $20 now because now we can't afford to live on 15. I'm telling you, that's how it's going to happen. It's the way they've always done it, folks, because they don't know any better. Yeah, it's idiocy. They think that they're changing. And again, change for the sense and matter, for the just for the sake of changing, makes no sense. None at all. So I will never wear a pair of Jordache jeans or any of those. What is a fashion jean nowadays? I don't know what they are. I know there's all kinds for women, but I'm just talking for guys. I don't. There's the today. By the way, folks. Today, I have an observer, if you will, in the Bunkerized home studio. So if I sound like I'm talking to somebody besides you, it's because and they do not. He does not have a microphone. Every once in a while, back in the old days, I used to have somebody that I called him a well-paid volunteer engineer that used to help me run the show. This is just a friend that I have not seen in a while. And he just wanted to listen to the program, and I said, so if he could be quiet, I'd let him sit in. But he's not mic'd up. He's not going to be mic'd up. But if you hear a voice like in the background, or if you hear me sound like I'm talking to somebody, that it's today. It's kind of like Bo Snerdley. Is it Bo? Bo Snerdley for the Rush Limbaugh show. He's got his advisor or listener, whatever Bo is, I guess, show observer. So today I've got myself one. And so if chick jeans was an old one. I get it. Yeah. I guess so. The mall stuff. What Hollister and Jordan, those are all fashion jeans now. They're not. Well, you can't get Abercrombie and Fitch. You can't get Abercrombie and Fitch jeans in a department store. You can only go to Abercrombie and Fitch. That's what I'm talking about fashion. Well, I suppose if Jordache is not still around, are they? No, I didn't think so. But I would suppose that if Jordache jeans were still around, that they were still making Jordache jeans, they would have a Jordache store in the mall. I get it. Yeah, that's changed. So you no longer. I don't. Yeah. Women have a lot. Apple. This isn't a show about jeans, by the way. I'm just trying to make a point. I'm not. I guess hey, if you find a pair in a what are they like a Goodwill or Salvation Army or another thrift store, if you find a pair of cheap Jordan, you probably should snatch them up and probably people are probably going to now go looking on eBay or something. Remember back in the day when the Soviet Union was around, Americans would send American jeans to the Soviet Union, and they would pay like up to 10 times more than what they cost here, and they'd pay in American dollars. And some people were able to sneak across, do deals across the Iron Curtain and make a fortune selling those things. I mean, now it doesn't make a difference. Well, I suppose if you could do that in the people in North Korea don't have any money, so I guess it wouldn't work in North Korea like it did in the old Soviet Union, old Russia. But I'm sure there are places that you can do that. Go overseas, take something from here and go overseas, or go overseas and buy something that's real cheap and bring it back to the state. That's called importing, by the way, and make a ton of money. Or you could just, you go places where, well, I don't know, but maybe now some of the good stuff that's running around that you could probably get is probably from Kenya, since our president is over in Kenya right now, disrupting their poor country. Obama probably could fit in those Jordache jeans were kind of for skinny people too. Obama could probably fit. Yeah, he's got some skinny legs. Not going to deny that. He could probably fit in those Jordache jeans. And well, it's kind of like Abercrombie's was always being, skinny people. Too bad they're skinny in the brain, too.